I recently acquired this Commodore 128D. These are the last of the Commodore 8-bit line. Of course, there was the VIC-20, Commodore 64, and then the Commodore 128, and then finally the 128D. These are quite uncommon, and of course this one's functioning, which is even nicer, and I have the matching monitor. But what I'm missing is the keyboard that comes with it. And as is so often the case, the keyboard is missing, and worse in this case is the keyboard, in fact, is proprietary. Now, the connector itself is a DB25, which is the same that's used for a parallel port. So what I can do is basically take a parallel cable, chop off the ends, and at least I have the connector. But what am I going to use for a keyboard? Well, the predecessor to the 128D is the Commodore 128. And luckily enough, the harness for that keyboard actually is the same as the harness for the keyboard for the 128D. So what you can do is you can basically just take the keyboard itself and map that harness to the pinouts on the parallel port cable, and off you go. Now, obviously, I don't want to salvage a full 128D, or 128, excuse me, to just to make a keyboard for this machine. So thankfully, I was able to acquire the just the keyboard harness from a collector. And so now what I can do is I can take that harness and the various pinouts here, map them to the pinouts here, and now I have a fully functioning keyboard. The next question, of course, then is what am I going to do for the surrounding parts? My plan is to 3D print that. I've asked online for some better reference images, etc., and see if I can't 3D print that. And then off we go. Now, you might ask, why don't I simply purchase a replacement keyboard? Well, simply put, if this is rare, the keyboards themselves are even rare. There is some sources actually in Germany, but they are, unfortunately, I can't acquire them due to the tariff restrictions these days. The collector community doesn't feel like dealing with that. And even at that, the keyboards would cost me probably about between $250 and $300. Which would seems a bit excessive at the moment, at least. So that's the project for today. Wish me luck.